I do want to acknowledge some people, and if they're not in the room, I apologize for that. But, you know, the Chamber puts this event on, and so I would like to acknowledge our Executive Director, Don Judson. Is he in here somewhere? Where's Don? There he is, Don. And then his better half, Rhonda Judson. Also, if you are a Woodburn Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors member, would you please stand up? Come on. I know who you are. I can call you out by name. Thank you. And then finally, I would like to acknowledge two special ladies who, this event, you know, we lost an important person last year when Dick Jennings passed away, and on so many levels. And he was the chair of this event for many, many years. And it was a big hole to fill. And we couldn't have asked for a better person to chair this committee. And Jennifer Miller and Robin Wilson back there in the back. Stand up, Robin. Robin loves attention. Thank you very much. And then Bob Rhodes and I did whatever they told us to do. And that is why this turned out well, because they were in charge of it. But we appreciate the work that they have put in to this event. Also, I want to acknowledge, if you are a past DSA recipient, if you have received a Distinguished Service Award, whether it's first or senior first, junior or senior first citizen, or a special award, would you please stand up? You know, the definition of a most valuable player is the person judged to be the most important or the most skilled at their sport or what they do. And tonight, these awards are typically bestowed upon the best performing person in what they do. And tonight, we have some phenomenal community volunteers that are being awarded. And I would like to give them all, right now, a round of applause. We have our service organizations. We have 2 Kiwanis clubs and Rotary that will be giving out their members of the year. And first up will be Dave Howard with French Prairie Kiwanis.
Thanks, Jason. You always do such a great job at these events. But hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Dave Howard. I am the president of the French Prairie Kiwanis Club here in Woodburn, and I have the honor of introducing the Kiwanian of the club from our club. This year's recipient has been involved in the community for many years, but has fairly recently joined our club. She has already risen through the ranks of officers and is ready to be president this October. She's boosted our marketing by getting us a Facebook page and promoting the 4th of July pancake breakfast. She was the speech coach at Woodburn High School, and her students won multiple state championships under her tutelage. She's the principal of North Marion Middle School and was instrumental in the development of the Kiwanis Builders Club there. She is such an amazing lady, and she still finds the time to travel the country to watch her son wrestle. It's my pleasure to introduce this year's Kiwani of the Year, the lovely Miss Lori Cooper.
Thank you. Do you want to say anything?
What would you like to say?
I'm completely unprepared, but I want to say thank you very much.
Next up, Bruce Thomas will be giving out the Woodburn Kiwanis Member of the Year.
Hey, that was kind of weak. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, we're on TV. All right. Now that's awkward. Okay. Before I talk about the Woodburn Kiwanian Member of the Year, and since this is sports related, and we have time.
Sure.
Okay.
You can thank Lori when you have some time.
Thank you, Lori. Mike Bergeron's going to give an even shorter speech than that, so I probably have more time. So, but this is really about Bob, the new chamber president. Many of you probably don't realize this, but this is kind of a short, long story. It'll go really fast. So I'm reading the Woodburn Independent, and the DSA nominations come out in the paper, and there's the pictures are there. And I'm like, oh, no. I knew what was going to happen. And as my office, the lights started to flicker, and a dark cloud came in, and the phone rang. Hey, this is Bob, president of the chamber. Did you see who got nominated? I went, oh, no, this is horrible. And it's not that Bob's a bad guy. He has 2 goals in his life. One was to be the all-time best quarterback of the Woodburn football program, which he almost was. His other goal is to be chamber president, but he's been in, is it okay if I talk about your psychiatrist? Okay, well, Bob's last game as football, he was the captain of the team. He was the star quarterback. His last game was it was his senior year, his last home game. It's a late October evening. It's cool. It's gray. The lights are on, and we're playing North Marion. Oh man! And this is Bob's biggest game. If he wins this game, he'll be the all-time winningest quarterback in Woodburn Bulldog history. And I don't know if you've ever gone swimming with Bob, but he has a bulldog right here on his chest, you know, the spike. Over here it says, I love mom, and over here it says, I love Spike. So he's a fanatical Woodburn guy. So he's out there, the North Marion, the crowd rolls in in all their green and white and their big pickup trucks and their tractors. I bet there wasn't even 2 people left in the whole town of Hubbard that night. So they're all there crowding out the Woodburn fans and yelling at us and stuff. So the game finally starts. And it's a close game all night long, back and forth. But at the very end, Woodburn's ahead. So Bob, this is his last play. There's only a couple seconds left. Just a few seconds left. And Bob says, you know, I've never thrown a real big bomb, you know, a long ball. So I want to do this. We're ahead by 3 points. Nothing can go wrong. There's only a couple seconds left. So Bob's all pumped. Hi, you know, he yells off all that football stuff and says hi. He gets the ball, he runs back, and the guys run down the field. And he just puts his arm back, and he thought, I'm really going to throw it. And then he dropped the damn thing. And then a guy from North Marion picked up the ball and ran in, and they won the game. I know. Really? Yeah. You know, part of this is true. The last home game for Woodburn Bulldogs was at Legion Field. We played North Marion. The stands were packed, and North Marion won the game. You guys cried. It was horrible. Okay. So, hey, enough about Bob Rhodes. But he did become chamber president, and he has been coveting this position for years. years, many years. Okay, so this truly is an honor. This goes to a good friend of mine, Mike Bergeron. If you are ever lucky enough to have him in your club, in your organization, or in any capacity that you need some help, if Mike says he is going to do something, believe me, it will be done. Heck or high water, it's going to happen. Mike is a valuable member of our club. He's probably raised more money for Dornbeckers through our club than any other member in many, many years. He runs Tulip Parking. He takes time off from work he takes vacation time off to help us run our bark dust sale, which is coming up in April. And he's an amazing guy. I love the guy. Mike, come on up.
And I would just like to say thank you very much. That's it.
And that was Bruce's short speech. Next up, Woodburn Rotary will be presenting an award, and Scott Derrickson will take care of that.
Thank you. I don't know if I can follow that. Gosh. Next year, can we set it up, or maybe I don't have to follow Bruce? I want to tell you a bit about Dennis Hutchings. Dennis is a Rotarian in our club that exemplifies what I think is the epitome of community service. Now, Rotary's mission is service above self, and that's clearly an ethic that is accepted by many of us in this room. I look out across the room and I see so many people who are involved in this community, who give of themselves, and as Rotarians, we really try to walk that talk. You see us active in the community, we're doing projects, we have an international reach, we're helping less fortunate people in Thailand, and we're doing projects right here in our home and our community. But the visible projects you see us doing, as you all know, couldn't happen if we didn't have people who are reconciling the columns, that were turning in the paperwork, that were taking attendance, that were cashing the checks, and making sure that everything behind the scenes was set so that things could get done out in the community. And a lot of these people don't seek credit, they're dedicated, they work hard, they give of themselves, they give their own time, and that's Dennis. And I know that we have a lot of people like Dennis in this room, and Dennis can't be here tonight, so I'm here to accept this on behalf of Dennis. And I hope that when you, in your works in the community, you see people who are the quiet workers who enable folks to stand up here like me and talk in front of the lights, that you recognize them and thank them for what they do for our community. Because if it weren't for them, we would not be successful. People like Dennis are truly the backbone of our community. And so it's an honor for me to accept this on behalf of Dennis, and to also thank everybody else who's involved in our community, our sister organizations, our sister clubs, and just the leaders we have sitting in the audience tonight as I look across the room. Thank you so much.
And now we're going to move on to our Distinguished Service Award recipients. To introduce tonight's Senior First Citizens of the Year will be Harry Lee Kwai of Data Vision Communications. Harry?
Hi, everybody. So my wife and I, we walk into the cafeteria at the middle school of Jervis Middle School for the annual community Christmas dinner, which is a modest affair, but filled with the hearts of the people sharing with each other. And instantly, my wife and I recognize two people who are behind the counter serving others. And I say to her, there they are again, Joe and Marianne Reese. And like all the Distinguished Service Award recipients that you see in your program spanning 61 years, Joe and Marianne seem to be everywhere, doing the good things in the lives of people, They are a passionate and compassionate team. So how do you tell the difference about people who make a difference? It's action. You enjoy what you're doing. You rise to the occasion to fill a need. It's simple. People who make a difference do stuff. Back in the day, Frank Church was one of my boxing coaches in the Golden Gloves. And he became the esteemed Senator Frank Church of Idaho. And there was a time when I was in his presence and he posed a very, very stirring line that etched itself in my brain. And I've spent my adult life trying to live up to what Frank said. You've heard it many, many times since. This was back in the day. But I share the words here because it's a reflection of Joe and Marianne. It's a reflection of Ken and Laurie Stott and Pam Milam and Shantai Platt, and all of the other distinguished service recipients all through these years. There is work to be done, Frank said. If not here, where? If not now, when? If not us, who? And then he said, we must answer, this is the place, now is the time, and we are the people. And for more than 25 years, Marianne and Joe have built bonds with people in the Jervis community, building up their spirit so generations of families will know what community life feels like and how to make it happen. You want to build a community, but you don't know how? Go with them. Joe, you saw it, you saw some of the excerpts in the paper. Here's something about Joe. He's an owner and operator with his small business as a professional painter. Served on the city of Jervis Budget Committee, the Jervis School District Budget Committee. He's a member of the Sacred Heart Knights of Columbus. On and on and on. He's a 12-year member of the Jervis Telephone Board of Directors. Marianne is the office secretary at Sacred Heart Parish in Jervis. She serves the Jervis Neighborhood Watch Committee. She volunteers at the National Night Out hosted by the Neighborhood Watch. She volunteers at the community yard sale. You get the point, right? They are everywhere. Marianne is one of the key members of the Jervis Sidewalk Chalk Art Festival Committee. Today, Marianne shares leadership in the French Prairie Community Progress Team, which is our community nonprofit do-good organization. She shares that role with her daughter, Carmen. So she's passing on the torch. Together, some of the things they've done, winter community dinner, Christmas boxes, food toy drives, July 4th festival, and one that especially sticks out for me is, as a unit, those two, they are one of the original founders of LEARN, the Latino Education and Recreation Network. So their reach in not only the Jervis community, but in the Woodburn community is far and deep. Besides all that, they make killer tamales. So like first grade kids with cans of paint at their feet, Marianne and Jill have footprints and handprints all over and everywhere in Jervis. Here are some descriptive gems that characterize Jill and Marianne. See if you can, it says a lot about volunteers, about all of these people over all of these years, you who value volunteer work, community service. This is about all of you. Volunteers are seldom paid, but not because they are worthless, but because they are priceless. A pessimist, they say, sees a glass of water being half empty. An optimist sees a glass half full. But a giving person sees a glass of water and starts looking for someone who might be thirsty. A beggar and the suffering walks. Let me start over. Past the beggar and the suffering walks he who asks, Why, O God, do you not do something for these people? To which God replied, I did do something. I made you. Friends, please welcome the 2012 DSA Senior First Citizens, Marianne and Joe Reese.
Well, I thank everybody, especially Woodburn Conference here. It's, it was a very surprise to us when they showed up at the school, and my kids and all my friends, they all surprised me. It surprised us. It's like, what's going on? They tricked me into. They said, well, Joe, we need you to come in because we need to go move some stuff inside in the back. And so can you come over? And I goes, well, okay, yeah, I'll be right there. So I was just about ready to wear my Miguel suit. You know how you have those suits, your mechanic suit? But mine says Miguel on it. But it's nice and warm. But it's cold outside. I wear my Miguel suit. And then Sandy goes, no, you don't need that much stuff because it's just a couple of things I need you to move. So that's how they got me and stuff over there. But it was very nice. I'm very proud of me and my wife because we love what we do. It's just great to be out there and helping people and watching their faces and stuff. Getting it's more. We receive more out of it than anything else. And I like to see it because my kids, my family, they following. They're looking up to us and they see what we do and they all love doing what they do. So they step right in and help out. Harry, you're right. That's what they do. And that's what we do. And all my friends in here, I've always considered them my family. Yeah. So, and that's what they are. Everybody is family to me. So, I mean, when I first started, a long time ago when in high school, in 1972, we started the Águilas de Oro Club. I don't know if Rick, if you know that. In 1972, I was part of that when we started the club and stuff at school. So that's when we first started doing things and stuff, and it was great. Then after that, in 1986, we started the basketball tournaments here in Woodburn and stuff for the Latinos to help kids get, to do something and get away from. In those times, the gangs weren't that bad, but you could see it coming around and stuff, and we wanted to do something to get them out, We did the adult tournament, but I thought the youth is what we wanted to reach to. And now it's gotten really big and stuff, and I'm proud of them taking over. I still help out, but not as much as what they do nowadays. So, but as far as me and my wife have said, we love what we do and stuff. So, and I say thank you all very much. I don't know if it's something. Go ahead, baby.
Yes, thank you. God bless each and every one of you.
Next up to introduce our junior first citizen is last year's recipient, Woodburn Police Chief Scott Russell.
Well, I feel very lucky to be introducing this year's honoree, and I feel lucky to call this person my friend. Our honoree is a lifetime Oregonian and a graduate of Tillamook High School. He served in the United States Navy. Yeah, there's at least one in the room. He served in the United States Navy as an intelligence specialist. Military intelligence, really? He and his wife, Cheryl, will celebrate 25 years of marriage this September. They have two great kids, Alexa, who's a student at Lewis and Clark College, and Zane, a student at Woodburn High School. Their family first moved to Woodburn in 1995. Our honoree is currently a Woodburn City Councilor for Ward 6. That means he's my boss's boss, so I can generally run wild up here, and it'll take a while to trickle down to me. So, he's also current chair of the Woodburn School Board. He's been a loss prevention investigator for several large retail outlets, and a regional loss prevention manager for Fred Meyer. He now works for the Oregon Commission for the Blind. I first met our honoree when our children swam together on the Woodburn Barracuda's swim team some years ago. In today's world of overly competitive parents and overcommitted kids, it's always refreshing to meet somebody that's laid back and willing to talk at kids' sporting events. Our honoree certainly meets those criteria. I could always count on him to have a friendly face and a friendly conversation with a kind word when I saw him at these events or other places in town. And our honoree at that time was working in loss prevention, and so we shared similar clients and we could talk about them. In 2008, I learned that our honoree was also serving on the Woodburn School Board and the Parks and Recreation Board. So taking a page out of the government handbook that says, when you find someone who will volunteer, ride them like a rented mule, I asked our honoree to help me, and he quickly agreed and signed on to assist us with our federal Weed and Seed Grant project designed to reduce gang impacts among youth in Woodburn. He did a great job helping us with that program until it met its federal demise this last year. During that same time period, our honoree experienced growing problems with his vision. Yet, even during that time, he continued to serve and even expanded his role of service in the community by agreeing to be on the school board and the city council. I observed our honoree take his disability in stride, and I learned things from him I used in my own life and how to handle physical adversity when it is thrown at you. Our honoree is a man of faith, and he set example for his friends and family in that regard as well. I've seen our honoree provide service to our community in good times and in bad. I was with him the night he faced a crowd of reporters after the Woodburn High School fire, and as police chief and a parent of a Woodburn High School student, I was encouraged and strengthened by the words he had that night. It was very unfortunate the media chose to use only a 3-second bite because his words deserved a lot more time that night. Our honoree truly merits the Distinguished Service Award to be bestowed upon him tonight. I could say more, but you really deserve to hear from him. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, it's my honor to introduce to you 2013 Junior First Citizen, my friend Eric Morris.
Wow, I just told the chief I'm like tearing up because that's powerful. And I do not have, as some people have challenged me to do, a 30-minute speech tonight. I do not have that set up tonight, so hold your applause for that. I wanted to come up and thank my family, so I don't forget them, because they said I would forget that immediately. Of course, you want to thank the Academy. That's always important also. The amount of people in the community that supported me and the things that I do is, hey, pick a table, and there's probably somebody at every table that's helped me in one respect or another to learn how to help the community. The reason I talked to Scott a little bit about the blindness side of it, the things he said about disability, I can flip right back around and say about him, because he's a role model for that also. But, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Oh. You ever been in a room where there's like 100 people looking at you and you're trying to remember what you're going to say? That's that moment that Eric's having right now. Oh, I got it. So as the blindness creeped into my life in 2008, and this will be a short story, is that the thing that I took advantage of the community in a way, because being able to serve really was therapy, and it really gave me purpose on top of everything else I've done. So, thank you.
I'm excited to introduce the next recipient. The North Marion Auction Committee has raised nearly $150,000 over the past 5 years, and every single penny has went back into the school district. Many of the committee members, and I think all of the ones that are here, no longer have kids in the school district, correct? Oh, you have one left. And they still put in hundreds of hours of work every year on this auction, and that's not all they do. Not only do they work in the auction, but they have been involved in the community. And I started at the Woodburn Independent in 2000, and I've covered every single one of their kids in some sport or another. And every one of them has been in the snack shack, has been collecting money, has been raking the fields, has been sweeping, has been cleaning up after the game is over. And so I know the work that they put on and that they commit to that school district. And if you have not been to their auction, which is next month, you need to come, and you will have a fantastic time, not just for the events, not just for the items, but the event itself is just a fantastic place to be, and there are wonderful people. And it is my privilege to introduce Susan Paradis, Misty Lee, Carla Hunt, and Rich Hunt on the North Marion Auction Committee. There you go, Chief. I think she wants to take a picture. You got to look over there. Okay. I think Rick has been nominated as the spokesperson for the group tonight.
First, we want to thank you. 6 years ago when we started this, it was an adventure. It was at a boosters meeting. We'd just come back from a statewide convention of booster clubs hosted by Tigard High School, where they didn't have problem raising money because they had 263 separate parents who worked for Nike. And we had a hard time thinking, I think we have one in our district. And one of the things that came up was, well, you can have an auction. And we had done auctions before and raised money. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of people, and nobody wants to do it. Fortunately, when we talked about it, and I opened my mouth and said I want to do one, I had one other person on that committee, or on our booster club, that said they wanted to help me, and that was Kelly Dady, who was part of our original committee and isn't here tonight. And if you were to ask her, she would say she has absolutely nothing to do with it. But it's because of her and her encouragement that helped us get this off the ground. And we went to several other people, starting with our school district superintendent, Lynn Reeves, who enthusiastically said, yeah, go ahead. And then we went to the principals, and they all said, yeah, go ahead, except for one, and it was Glenn Elliott, who was the high school principal. And I think he said go ahead because he loved auctions. His wife put him on a very tight rein and told him what he could spend. But he encouraged us, and he made sure that we knew that the schools were behind us, and they gave us lots of items that we could auction. And that's, when we get your first one, that's the exciting thing. And so we got that. And once we got permission from the district to go ahead and do it, we started looking around for people. And that's a hard thing, but put the word out, and several really, really good people stepped forward. Susan Paradis was part of that first group, Gina Aldrich, and there were a couple others. I got my list here so I didn't forget any names. Kelly Dady again, Diane Ropey and Chris Padura, Melissa Geringer, Julie Miller, Becky Hilton. All of these people stepped forward, and we started this a full year ahead, almost before in the summertime. It took us a year of planning and work and hard work to come out first year, and we set some pretty lofty goals. We wanted 500 people. We wanted to raise $50,000. We wanted to have, 500 items in the thing. We didn't know what we were doing. There's a saying that goes that ignorance is bliss, and we were the most blissful group you've ever met. We started from scratch. We knew nothing about auctions. We knew nothing about what we were doing. And what we learned We had smart people, intelligent people, hardworking people, and we're blessed with a community around us in North Marion that when we started telling people what we wanted to do, they wanted to be involved in some way. A lot of them just wanted to come, and that's fine. That's what we want. And that first year was amazing. We had 456 people or something like that crowded into the Holiday Inn. It was wall-to-wall packed. The auction went really well, but we were disappointed because people were like this. They couldn't move. They couldn't bid, and we heard that. And then the next year, we kind of downsized and moved it here to this facility with a goal, and for the last 4 years it's been here, and it's been a wonderful event. And the people standing up here, our current committee is Kelly and Misty and Gina Aldrich, Cherie Moore, Danita Wampole, Melinda Ollinger, and Susan Rice. These people have been working since the end of the auction last year for this one coming up, April 13th, in this facility, 5 o'clock. Tickets are $35, a table for 8 is only $245, and we take credit cards. And you can do it online. But we would recommend that you do it early. We're going to probably sell out this year. We have some good stuff. We always have good stuff, good prices and good values. If you want to be honest, we don't deserve this award. It's not us. We have a multitude of people, our donors. Our list now is over 1,600 people who have donated to our auction. We have 40 sponsors who've donated just straight cash to us. Cash is king, believe me. Well, we love it. We have over 100 people who volunteer every year to find the things, pick up the things, come here on Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning and set up this event. And then after the auction, help tear it down so when we leave, it's just like we came. The parents and patrons of our school district. I tried to figure out how many have come, but it's well over 650 different individuals have come to our auction. And as he said, we've managed to give $149,005 and some change, $500 or something like that, back to projects in our school district, such as the elementary school bringing in an art project for the whole school where they can do something that they couldn't afford to do. Music, dance. We've funded a bassoon for the high school band that they couldn't afford. We've helped with almost every athletic program in the high school in some way or another this year. I don't know if you saw our famous football coach and his sign, "Will work for helmets." They're going to work for us, and we're going to get them some helmets this year. So we try diligently and honestly as we can to be as fair as we can to every patron in our district. We're open. Anybody has any questions about anything we've ever done, the books are there. We're there. We want to be a part of it. And to be honest with you, I should thank my wife. She's not a part of the auction committee, but without her, it couldn't happen. I was told I had to say that because she's a member of the chamber. Again, we want to thank you for this honor. This will probably go to the school, put it somewhere in our district office. I mean, I don't know what to do with this. I don't have a shelf in my house for trophies, so again, thank you.
Carla, where can people buy tickets for your auction next month?
For me, or online, any of them.
Our next person is also a recipient from last year, one of our co-senior First Citizens last year. Janice Webb is going to introduce another one of our special award recipients.
Last year you helped me up the stairs.
Oops.
I drank more this year.
She, not me.
It is with sincere pleasure that I was asked to introduce to you the recipient of this year's special award. Although he may not be a native of Woodburn, you certainly would not know otherwise. He moved to Woodburn a mere 6 years ago, and as a new Woodburn resident, he was an ordinary man who really was not involved in the community. Shortly after, however, he was subject to the private sector economy changes and lost his job. He didn't let the loss of his employment get the better of him. Rather, he embraced a new opportunity and chapter in his life and went back to school, securing his own business in computer repair. As he began promoting his new career and private business, he established a foundation within the Woodburn community. He branched out to other small town businesses and the community, not only promoting his business, but promoting Woodburn. He gives his time around the clock to many volunteer and community service organizations, such as serving as an ambassador to the Woodburn Chamber of Commerce. He has a heart of gold. He is passionate about volunteering in the community and demonstrates that through his commitment of joining as an active member of the Woodburn Chamber and the Relay of Life Woodburn area. He has demonstrated his leadership within the community and has served as a role model for others throughout his commitment and dedication to volunteering, no matter how small or large a task that needs to be completed. He gives up his own personal and professional time to give back to the community and give to others unconditionally. Some might see him as a bit intense or overly passionate, if there is such a word, but he certainly has his heart in the right place and his perspective on the value of community always foremost. He was a member of the $1,000 Club with Relay for Life, which means he singly raised $1,000 for the American Cancer Society. He has given more to the community of Woodburn over the past 5 years than many people give in an entire lifetime. Therefore, it is my honor to introduce to you Mr. Bill Sabo.
Thank you. I'll be naked without one. I had a 40-page thing, but I only have 2 pages left. Well, this is the first time I've ever had an opportunity or in my life to make a speech in front of anybody, really. I'd first like to thank my best friend, my partner in life, Yvette, for standing by me. Oh, okay, I'm short, so I gotta go over there. I have never done anything like this before, helping out a community, helping others to make a personal good people feel good about themselves and get recognized for it is even a more greater feeling. Joining the chamber was the best thing I've ever done in the last 4 years. Getting to know the people of the community of Woodburn makes me proud to live here. The reason I got involved with Woodburn Proud was another way to help the community. Well, it started with the Ambassadors Chamber. At that time, we needed us to go out and get auction items for Woodburn Proud and the chamber auction. I had a lot of fun doing that. The next year, Kelly came up to me and handed me a list and said, okay, get busy. Just kidding. Things from the auction goes to raise money to help our community. The things like the high school fire, helping the kids get backpacks and supplies they needed that they lost in the fire. They donate funds to Love Inc., Woodburn High kids at the Highliners, Woodburn United Soccer. They even send ribbon letters to other cities that have lost officers. They couldn't do this without the community's help and the auction items that a lot of you have donated. So that is why I like to go out and get items. It takes a community like Woodburn to make this work. I got involved with Relay for Life 5 years ago when Gene and James asked me if I would like to go to the relay. I've never heard of Relay until that time. When I got there, I just started to walk, and it felt good just to walk with all these other people for a cause. When there's cancer survivors in our family, and the next year I wanted to do more, so I became a sponsor of my business, Bill's Bits and Bytes Repair. I started my own team, raised money for the relay. I've been a sponsor ever since the last 4 years. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now I know firsthand how American Cancer Society has helped me develop this great drug that helped me live longer last 2 years. When I was diagnosed, my PSA was 19.0. Without treatment, I wouldn't be standing here now. Then every month it kept going down. The last 9 months, my PSA was 0.01. So that's one reason why I got involved with Relay, to find hope for people like myself. Now I'm a sponsor chair for the Relay, and if anyone would like to be a sponsor, or any employees want their company to be sponsors, either contact me or Rhonda. Also, if you need your computer repaired, I give 15% to Relay for Life. Thank you all for coming.
And he's not kidding when he said that he would go out and Kelly would give him a list of items. I think we are in the thousands of how many auction items he has brought in over the last 3 years. And it is just a joy to see his passion and his commitment to things. And if you have not been a part of Relay for Life, you should go just to watch Bill, because it is a show in itself. It is my privilege to introduce our next person who will introduce our junior first citizen, and that is last year's co-first citizen of the year, Marta Trinidad.
I can make it up. Good evening. Dalila, which is the right way to pronounce it, Ortiz, is one of the recipients of the special award. I thought it was a special award, right? She comes from a family of 5 siblings, is committed to maintain her family values, her education, and to the Woodburn community. At such a young, at such a young age, she has accomplished tremendous milestones in her life. She was the first to graduate from high school, attend college, and will continue her post-secondary education at Merlehurst University in the fall of 2013, pursuing a degree in social science. She has committed to countless hours in successfully assisting underrepresented families, has volunteered as a tutor at Fair Housing Development Coalition at Nuevo Amanecer, took over the after-school program, became the community organizer, participated in the Marion County Environmental Services Master Recycler Program, and implemented the recycling program there. She took it further by training hundreds of families about the program in both Marion and Polk counties, in which now the facilities have adopted the waste reduction practices. Her leadership in the Woodburn community continues to grow. And in 2012, she became the Special Projects Coordinator for Capaces Leadership Institute. Dalila became civically involved by leading a community-wide campaign that amended the City of Woodburn's mural ordinance currently in place. Her passion is to find educational opportunities for anyone of any age, She would like to see a place one can call home, where everyone is welcomed and accepted. By providing such a place, it would allow more participation, advocacy for community causes, awareness of available services. And her ultimate goal in life is to have pride in the progress in the families she serves, see the barriers break even further, and continue to contribute to the beautiful and prospering Woodburn community. And it is my honor to present to you Dalila Ortiz. And today is her birthday, so we can sing. I think we should sing happy birthday to her.
I was afraid I mentioned that because that would reveal my age. All right. It is an honor for me to receive this award today. I'd like to thank the Woodburn Chamber of Commerce and the Selections Committee for this Distinguished Service Awards for this recognition. I'd like to thank my family and the mentors that have taught me a lot, all of the values that have brought me to this place. I have never been presented with this type of award. Besides receiving awards in grade school and high school for my academics, I have always received the warmth of the community which I serve, and that has been the biggest recognition. This means a lot to me. Woodburn became my home 12 years ago. I remember that day. My family was finally together after many years of being separated from my father, who was a migrant worker. Woodburn felt like a big place because I didn't know how to move around. Then, at some point, it became small. Because I know the location of the places where I wanted to go, because I could communicate with people, and because I knew people. I am grateful for the organizations that helped me to integrate into this community. The Woodburn School District, Farm Worker Housing Development Corporation, the Capaces Leadership Institute, organizations who are fostering the greater unity to take action to improve our community. These organizations make me feel part of this community. You make me feel part of this community. I am proud to call this my home.
Legacy Financial Management, Stan Milne, Laura Dix, and myself, and OSU, and OSU Federal Community Credit Union, and I believe they have a full table of people there. Thank you so much. Bruce, you lied tonight. I never played football. I never played any sport. Your father-in-law was my elementary principal, and your wife used to change my diapers. One of the privileges of being the president of the Woodburn Area Chamber of Commerce is getting the last word, okay? You know, as I look around the room, I'm so thankful for this year and the fact that we are the Woodburn Area Chamber of Commerce. And Hubbard does not have, or North Marion does not have their own Jervis does not have their own. I hope they never do, because it was really a wonderful evening of celebrating everything that happens up and down 99E, basically. And that was really, really cool for me to be a part of this. The other thing that's cool is that I grew up in this town, and a lot of the recipients, juniors and seniors, special awards, were my neighbors, church members, or people I've been to school with, or different kinds of things. And I think that's really, really cool. I'm really, really thankful that you came and celebrated the very best of what people have to offer this area in particular. So why don't you give yourselves a hand for celebrating the very best of people. And then I want to make sure that WACAT understands. Thank you so much for coming and filming tonight, and that my face will be on TV. Make it a great night. Thanks for celebrating the area.